Scooter on day 5 of competition, and we are preparing ourselves for the opening run in the women's slalom sitting category. Here is the start list, 11 athletes going. Kimberly joins, gets us underway, but Anna Schaffel, number 6, the skier to beat, although the defending champion is Claudia of Austria. The top 6 skiers, so the ones you saw before this page, drawn randomly from Tanaka down. It's based on world ranking, so Tanaka the highest ranked of those 5 athletes. Felix, Dottie of Iceland, the lowest ranked athlete in the sitting category. The weather, well, it's better than it was on day 4 when it was pouring with rain. Kimberly Joins of Canada will get this women's slalom sitting category race underway. The weather, well, it's been snowing all night. It snowed 10 to 12 centimetres on the top half of the course, 2 to 5 on the bottom. But that was before we got up here, and since then it's been snowing. So conditions difficult, very soft underfoot, a lot of ruts in the piste, but Kimberly Joins doing a good job of negotiating these early turns. Second at the World Championships in slalom back in 2009. 11th in 2006 in slalom in Torino. Joins sets the first time 39.94. 11 athletes skiing this sitting category, and Joins on the flatter parts of the course before this finishing pitch. Some big ruts down here, and Joins, oh, hits one, makes the red gate though. She will finish. Good recovery. 107.33 the time to beat. The Canadian supporters with some of the athletes that have already skied cheering her down. Anna-Lena Forster of Germany, the next to go. Her first Winter Paralympic Games. She was second at the World Championships in slalom, and she was second in the slalom run of the Super Combined. So a real chance here for her to pick up a medal if she can safely negotiate this first run and put herself in a good position for run 2 later on. Joins sets the early time, 39.94, but Forster looks to be going quicker, and indeed she is, by 1.66 seconds. The times you are seeing, the calculated times. There are 3 classes in this setting category. Each class has a different factor that is applied to real time, and that gives the calculated time. It's a mathematical formula that was instigated by the athletes to allow athletes with more than one impairment to compete against each other. And there are 3 classes within the sitting category, LW10, 11 and 12. We'll tell you about them a little bit more later on. And Forster leads the way, 0.92 inside the pace of Joins. Those 2 in the LW12 class, which is a sport class that includes skiers with normal or any slightly decreased trunk function and leg impairments. Next to challenge is Claudia, the defending Paralympic slalom champion in the sitting category. And struggling on these top turns. She was 3rd in the slalom leg of the Super Combined, but the ruts proving very tricky for Loesch, and taking a very rounded line early on. Now, can she get some rhythm going in the bottom half of this track? It's so soft, it's cutting up You can see these big bumps. In fact, she's skiing almost outside of the racing line in order to get a smoother run. And she'll be outside Forster's time for sure. But by how much? Will she leave herself too much to do in the second run? Laurie in the LW11 class, which is for skiers that have good abilities in their upper trunks. So she posted a time 6.67 seconds slower than our leader. But they have limited control in their lower trunks and hips, as it would be the case for skiers with a lower spinal cord injury. Now she gets the rhythm going. Forster's time 106.41, I think, will stand the test of Claudia Loesch, but can Loesch put herself in a position to challenge in run 2? Remember, the slalom category, the race is decided over 2 runs. The skiers go in reverse order in the second run in terms of their finishing position, so the slowest will be first. And Loesch and Forster having a little chat, saying the conditions are pretty terrible up there. Now, Laurie Stevens, the United States, who on Super G Day saw her 2 compatriots, Stephanie Victor and Alana Nichols, both helicoptered off the piste. I can tell you the news from the medical teams is that they are okay, so that is good news. But Stevens with an amazingly composed, mature run to finish 3rd in the Super G, having seen both her compatriots helicoptered off the piste. She's more of a speed skier than she is a technical skier. But has given herself some confidence ahead of this slalom race by finishing 4th in the slalom run of the Super Combined. Now, how close is she to Forster's time? 1.25. That's good skiing from Stevens. 4th in the World Cup standings. She's got 2 second-place finishes to her name. Coronet Park in New Zealand in August and Thredbo in Australia in September. Those are the only 2 runs, or 2 races she has competed in on the World Cup this season. And now she heads up for the final few gates. Oh, yeah, just about survives that big rut 2 from home. And Stevens will be back for the second run. She's 3rd for the time being, 2.45 off the pace of Forster. So 2 more of the seeds to come. First of which is Anna-Lena of Great Britain in the LW12 class. Never medalled at a Winter Paralympics or World Championships. 6th in slalom in Vancouver. She was twice been 4th at the World Championship, albeit in giant slalom. Can she finally break that duck and find her way onto a podium at a major championship? Well, good turns on the top from Turney. Can she keep it together? Can she avoid the big ruts and bumps on this course? A spectacular wipeout in the downhill on day 1 of competition, but finished 5th in the slalom leg of the Super Combined on day 4. Now, Forster's time 38.28. Turney will be outside it, but by how much? The answer, 4.8 seconds. Now, Claudia Loesch, the defending Paralympic Winter Champion, is 4th, 7.4 seconds off the pace. So Turney, she cannot lose too much time between here and the bottom. She put herself in with a good shout of maybe getting a medal in this slalom discipline. 106.41 has come and gone, and Turney is taking it a little bit more easy down this final pitch than she did on the top turns, and so she will lose more time. I think she'll be behind Loesch. She will be. She will go 5th, 7.53. She's only 1100 slower than the defending Winter Paralympic champion. Now, Anna-Lena Forster's time will get a real test here. It's Anna Schaffel-Huber, the double gold medalist from these games so far in downhill and Super G. She won the slalom leg of the Super Combined. She really is a very good technical skier, but she is the last of the seas to go, and the piste conditions are getting ever more harder with every skier that goes. Good turn from Schaffel, but will the clock like her start? Well, 38.28 her teammates' time, and Schaffel is going to be inside by over a second. Schaffel showing her class once again, aiming for 5 goals from these Winter Paralympic Games, and you wouldn't bet against her the way she's been skiing. Look how she takes the gates on her helmet, on the chin guard, batting them out of the way. Oh, that one right across the eyes. Great angle to see how the best sitting slalom skiers go about their business. And Schaffel demolishes the time of Forster by 1.34 seconds. It's a Germany 1-2 at the moment, with Kimberly joins the Canada in 3. A great run from Schaffel. She doesn't look best pleased with it, but considering the conditions, it's a good run. Now, Yoshiko Tanaka of Japan picked up a bronze medal in slalom back at the World Championships in 2009 in Pyeongchang. The highest ranked of the non-seeded skiers. Schaffel, the last of the seeded skiers to go. 5 skiers remain, 2 of them from Japan. How can Tanaka go here? Some decent opening turns from the Japanese skier, but she's going to be slower than Schaffel. There's no disgrace in that. She is the standout athlete in this category, but by how much? 9.46. It puts her 7th for the time being. It should be last of the skiers down so far in the sitting category, but that is where her world ranking would have her be. So Tanaka making sure and doing a good job on these difficult money turns of this slalom track. You can see the big ruts and bumps. Tanaka taking it wide to avoid them, avoid as many as possible, and she is 7th, 13 seconds off the pace. So a first look at Yoshiko Tanaka and a first look at Victoria Pendergast of Australia in the LW 12-1 class. Her first major competition, 23 years of age. And the Australian trying to make sure of these opening turns, so she can come back for the second run. Slalom decided over 2 runs, the fastest skiers going in reverse order on run 2. And Schaffel time will not be beaten by the remaining skiers in this sitting category. And Pendergast 8.41 off the pace. And she's skiing in front of Tanaka, who is the 7th place of the 7 skiers to have finished. 13 and 3/4 seconds to play with Pendergast. And he's in sight of the finish. Hoover's time, calculated time, comes and goes. And look at the bumps. Oh, that's a huge hole there on that blue gate. But Schaffel survives and finishes in 8th spot. 16.46 off the pace. She'll be back. Momoka Muraoka of Japan in the LW class. 17 years old. 9 days ago on the 3rd of March. In her first major competition. And Oka taking his top turns very gingerly. 2 more to come after her. Another Oka. Just taking the rounded line to avoid the big ruts, or the ski into them rather than drop into them. You don't want to get bounced out of these ruts on the sit ski. Once they start bouncing, it's very difficult to control. Of course, you need your ski to be in contact with the snow to control yourself. And if you start bouncing around, it becomes, well, impossible really. And Oka, 17 seconds off the pace of our leader Anna Schaffel of Germany, who will have the lead going into the second run. Muraoka into these very difficult turns on the final pitch. Oh, there's one of the big holes, another one's coming up right there. And 2 gates from home. She finishes 24.78 seconds off the pace. She is 9th. Well done to Muraoka. A little welcoming committee at the bottom now. Linnea Ottosson-Eder of Sweden, 20 years of age, her first major. Her goal is to medal in 2018 in Pyeongchang. And, enough is enough for Ottosson-Eder of Sweden. She retires and will pick up a DNF. She won't be back for the second run. Well, the arrow came before then. That's the aftermath. You can see the wet condition of the snow from the spray coming up from the ski. So now we wait Anna Felix Dottie of Iceland, first Icelandic athlete to compete at the Winter Paralympic Games. And the lowest ranked of all the sit skiers in this competition. I can say first female athletes have completed the Winter Paralympics. And, like many that have gone before in all the categories, just trying to make sure the turns get to the bottom and come back for the second run. Difficult snow conditions, they're wet, there's a lot of salt and chemicals on the snow to try and bind it and draw the moisture out. And it makes for a different feel under the ski, which some may not be used to. "20 seconds off the pace of Schaffel at the first intermediate. We've got it competing in the LW12-1 class for skiers with normal or only slightly decreased trunk function and leg impairments. Skiers with leg impairments in sport classes LW1 to 4, which is in the standing category, often also fit into this sport class, so they can choose if they want to ski sitting or standing at the beginning of their careers. Well, Felix got it inside of the finish now, through that really big hole. 3 from home. And she's down in a time of 1:33.41, 28.34 off the pace. She is 10th. The welcoming committee gives her the lift that she would need. So the standings after the first run of the women's slalom sitting category look like this. Anna Schaffel of Germany leads the way with an advantage of 1.34 seconds over her compatriot Anna-Lena Forster. Kimberly joins her Canada third, 2.26. Remember, the skiers go in reverse order of their finishing order in the second run, which is coming up later.